going to be moving into the next match. So ITK Mas coming into this one. They're 1-0 down against Absolute Legends. Absolute Legends with 1 foot in the final. How are they going to deal with this one? Being as the red team to start with, all pro teams say this is a big disadvantage. It's not a huge disadvantage, but it's a disadvantage nonetheless. Would they counter the streams? Would they change the lanes, which we suggested they might do in the first game that we saw ITK Mas might do, but they didn't do that?
Well, the best way to engage this is not even thinking they're behind. Because, I mean, if you make the calculations, I think most of the times that you are behind 1-0 and you come back 1-1, most of the time you actually win 1-2. You know what I mean? I don't know why is that. Maybe it's some sort of a mind thing.
Momentum thing, maybe.
Yeah, momentum thing, yeah, definitely. But, yeah, definitely, if I was a losing team right now, I would tell my teammates, just don't even think about this last game. Just play the next game.
And if you were AL and they did let us know that they may have something special prepared, would this be the time to bring it out, or would you hold on to it for as long as possible for the finals, maybe?
Surely, when you're 1-0 up, you wouldn't want to.
I would probably play a little bit standard this game.
Yeah.
Just because I'm ahead, and let's see what they do. They will probably try something crazy because they're behind, like something crazy level 1 probably. So if I was AL, I would definitely ward both sides. I would ward the entrance of the red buff and the entrance of the blue buff. Play defensive because any level 1 can go either 0-5 or 5-0. You know, you don't know. So yeah, I would play defensive and have a lot of control of the game basically.
So the quick bans coming in already. You can see the screen has started up. It is Twisted Fate and Malphite being banned out, along with Blitzcrank, Jax Aurelia, and there's the Diana ban. So Absolute Legends are like, no, we're not going to let you have that as a first pick. So now that the first pick is available, Shen is opened up because they had to use that ban for Diana.
Interesting. The Aurelia ban, of course, also makes a lot of sense. We've seen very, very strong Aurelias all day yesterday, and I think what the Twisted Fate ban is, I spoke to Hami from Garena yesterday, and he said that generally the Singapore Sentinels, and this is the unofficial B team for the Singapore Sentinels, of course, just don't like playing against global pressure, full stop. They just don't like it. There may just be a team preference that they take out this Twisted Fate.
I can't blame them. I mean, I wouldn't want toys on Twisted Fate.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't want toys on any champion, I got to be honest, from the Taipei Assassins. But it is not been locked in just yet, Shen. So is this going to be a top lane Shen or is it going to be a jungle Shen? That is the big question. I mean, as a team, when you see these champions, switching it to Rengar. And Rengar, this could be the first Rengar we've seen all tournament.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Last minute switch to Orianna.
Orianna. Oh, then a Rengar Shen pick will be really, really, really painful.
So what see they're going to go with? I mean, that's... And I can understand what they're going with there. They think we want Rengar, we want Orianna to go with the Rengar, and they expect if we pick Rengar, they're probably going to take Orianna away from us.
There is one thing for sure. I think AL should pick Rengar. If they play him, they should pick him.
Because you think that Orianna
Rengar is one of the best combos of the game.
Yeah, because you got that 5-second stealth, put the ball on his head, straight on. It's a pretty much a free kill.
Or maybe they're expecting the Rengar pick, and that's why they pick Lee Sin.
They're countering it.
Yeah, Lee Sin kind of corners Rengar.
Yes, of course. But Lee Sin can't always be in mid lane, so that the ganks in mid lane can still be very, very painful.
I think actually Orianna is one of the few champions that do okay-ish against Lee Sin.
Right. No, what I mean is that whoever AL pick in mid lane is going to have trouble against that Orianna when Rengar comes in for a gank.
Yeah, indeed. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I know for a fact that Team Solar Mid, they were saying, you know, if you leave Shen or Rengar open, we are taking that straight away. Right. And they did do that, but they got countered with it. You know, the Korean teams knew how to handle that. Question is, does Absolute Legends know how to handle it? Because we're expecting possibly a Shen or a Rengar, both, if not both, being picked up here.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm not sure how is the synergy in between Lee Sin and Shen.
Taking Graves away from Robert Lee.
Shen is one of those champions that I will always pick. I don't know. I really feel like that champion is really, really strong. As a top laner, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think Jungle, he lacks a lot of damage and relies too much on the red time. We will see.
So with Graves taken from Robert Lee, what are we expecting the AD carry to be? And how are they going to... yeah, that's the fact. That's a problem actually for me, the AD carries. Yeah. There's a big problem with the AD carries at the moment. It's almost a given. It's only going to be one of those 3 choices, although say Vayne now creeps in now and again.
It's going to change in Season 3, of course.
Of course, a lot of things could change in Season 3, but...
Yeah. Probably 3D4s. 3D4s, I think, is the base problem.
And obviously that's going to receive a nerf as well.
Yeah.
So the picks coming in is going to be Katarina, and well,
Katarina.
we don't get tired of hearing that name because it's going to happen so often. And well, Slushy on Katarina, we just seen him on Diana, and honestly,
So we
Katarina is a pretty good counter to Oriana.
Yeah, indeed. Like Katarina corners Oriana, Lee Sin corners Rengar. The bottom lane, Ezreal and Koki, actually kind of corner Graves in some way, because Graves is an anti-physical damage AD carry, you can call it. I don't think Leona is the proper pick right here, especially against Lulu. But yeah, indeed, 1 by 1, I think the AL corners ITK quite a lot.
I mean, that's a strong dive comp from both teams. They're all going all in.
Yeah, indeed.
This is going to be some pretty aggressive stuff, and there is Cho'Gath getting locked in. So we are going to see the jungler on Cho'Gath. It is Yoda, I believe, as soon as they switch it around. Or could it be Zakent? Of course, no, it would be Lee Sin in the jungle. It would be Zakent on Cho'Gath in the top lane. So it's going to be Cho'Gath versus...
Is Rengar top?
Is it going to be Rengar top? I'm just seeing Jarvan in the jungle here.
I think they played Jarvan in jungle yesterday, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes, because we were talking about the fact that Cyanide plays it as well. So how do you see these team compositions? They're definitely different team mixes for this time.
I like quite a lot Cho'Gath Feast synergizing with Katarina passive. So I will give this game for AL. 1 by 1, I think the lanes are gonna be, except top lane, which is most likely even. I think 1 by 1, AL should get this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get underway. It is going to be Absolute Legends 1-0 up against Ititaki Mass. The question is, can they pull themselves back into this one? Joe and Jason, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Demon. So, Jason, we've seen the picks, we've heard the predictions from the Cool Kids desk over there.
Why is it cool again?
Well, because you're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And this desk got even uncooler as well.
Oh, come on.
You're just generally spreading your uncoolness around the world as we go. And it's not the English desk anymore. The fish and chips aren't, in fact, stored today. But we'll get them back later before the final or so. So moving in then to game number 2. Obviously a real one-sided affair in game number 1 in favor of Absolute Legends NA. But we are actually live in the match, so we can drop in there and give you a quick rundown of what we can expect to see from this one. Jason, I've got a feeling there was a bit of a drinking game suggested earlier on in the tournament, which is how many times can one say Katarina in a game? I've got a feeling
we're going to see a lot of Katarinas.
You can break out the bottles now.
Yeah. It's not going to stop. You're probably going to get alcohol poisoning if you do play this game, so play at your own discretion. But we are finally going to get underway here. We have a Jarvan jungle again, but we're going to go over the rosters a little bit, though.
Yep, give a quick rundown here as we get into the pre-game, obviously, for on the blue side for ITK. We have D-Dan on Jarvan, Cryonics on Oriana, IKTP, that's an F, IFTP on Leona, Valkyrian on Graves, and Maxados on Rengar. And over on the other side for Absolute Legends NA, obviously 1-0 up in this game. We have Slushy on Katarina, Robert Exley on Ezreal, Yoda on Lee Sin, Ziken on Cho'Gath, and Spellsy on Lulu. Are we going to see anything early on in the game, though, Jason?
No, well, most likely not. But we do have a lane switch, though. We have Ziken actually heading to the bot lane with Cho'Gath. And we're going to have a 2v1 in that top lane against Rengar. They are, I guess, a little bit afraid of him. We haven't seen him picked at all this tournament. Since he's been banned out quite a bit. But here's the first game we're actually going to see it and see how well it works out. And we also have a Jarvan jungle, which we're talking to Ocelot, or I was talking to Ocelot yesterday when I was doing the analysis desk, and he was saying that Jarvan just isn't a good jungle. I mean, he has a lot of CC, he has pretty good ganks, but he's not tanky enough. We saw last time that he had Rigo's Lantern and an Aegis, and he would just die in a few seconds, even though he had a pretty good score, pretty good CS. He just doesn't have the base stats and scaling throughout the game that he needs.
Well, we see a start for Absolute Legends going to be at the rates, and getting over towards that red there. Pretty standard start for Elise in these days. As you said, that lane switch is coming in, which I'm guessing then Cho'Gath is going to be taking away these wolves.
Actually, we have a double lane switch again.
Yeah.
So looks like Ititaki Mass setting up their own AD carry support towards the top lane, and that Graves Leona. I mean, we play Leona Corki quite a bit, but Graves is just as good. It's just like having a Taric, but with extra damage from Leona's passive. It's so deadly.
And there is blue buff finished off. Let's have a look over on the other side. Smite saved by both junglers, so wanting to get a good quick red buff or blue buff for Lee Sin, as it actually is, obviously. Middle lane, Diana versus Katarina. As I said, probably going to be saying Katarina quite a lot during this game. If the previous Katarinas in this tournament are anything to go by.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to check out Zeken's runes in that bottom lane, because Rengar obviously just hops in that bush and jumps right out on Zeken every time. And it's so frustrating to go against because of the positioning of these bushes. But in the top lane, actually, Ezra getting a little bit out of position. But since he is level 2, obviously can pressure Ititaki Mass out of the lane at the moment, which they're currently doing. And that's the danger of having, well, on blue side, having your AD carry bot lane. You could take those double golems early on and then apply that pressure, but since they reversed it, they got that same advantage in that top lane.
And we actually see Jarvan coming down, but look at this, Lee Sin is actually waiting inside of that brush, and they are going to go in towards Jarvan, but look at Zeke, he's going very low, will actually be forced to flash away direction his own turret, and that was a close call. And Yoda, I'm not sure if they really reacted to that fast enough or whether it would have been better for Yoda to just back away from it, but either way, Cho'Gath going to be forced out of lane. That's going to give Rengar a little bit of free time, but Jarvan's in his lane, just, you know, taking away his XP.
Well, he's just helping to push the lane a little bit, just so Cho'Gath gets denied quite a bit of CS. The quicker they can get into the tower, the quicker the tower will actually take out those minions. But also helps out Jarvan quite a bit.
I've missed it again. It can't be. It cannot be. It cannot be. 2 games in a row missing first blood, and this is why we get used to having a separate cameraman. So here we go then. That's what happened exactly. And Cryonics, well, at level 3 against a Lee Sin Katarina, you don't really have that much of a chance, Jason, to be honest.
Yeah, you really don't. And that is
Katarina.
Yes. I mean, that's what's really dangerous, is that she's now 1-0. And she's only going to struggle throughout the game. She's going to start training through, well, with her ultimate, going to start doing insane amount of damage, and they can't afford to let her get fed at all, and that's what's happening. She's, you know, 6 CS ahead, obviously not a lot, but with how early the game is right now, it actually is quite a big difference.
Yeah, and Katarina actually headed up towards this top lane, and Slushie there will be spotted by that ward, and the ping to go back, which, you know, means that Katarina's not going to get any more kills in this top lane, but it also means that Graves Leona are forced to back away, forced to play very wearily here, and that could mean more CS loss, to be honest with you. I mean, look at it already, 30-19 in favor of Ezreal. And
they're a level behind at the moment because they had to back out so often, but they should be able to catch it up right here. But, I mean, we always talk about if you run an aggressive lane like this, you can't afford to fall behind early on, because if you do, there's no real way to catch up unless your jungler camps your lane. And that's kind of the problem they're having right now, is that Graves, with that CS difference, won't be able to be aggressive. He's going to be farming under tower. Not to mention, we see Lee Sin already heading up towards this top lane, so if they weren't having a hard enough time before, it's going to be that much harder.
And they're pinging again that Lee Sin position. This ward saving them at least at one time from the Katarina coming in. We can see down in this bottom lane, Maxidus on Rengar, level 5 to the level 4 of Zekan, and there is Jarvan once again just to force this Cho'Gath to play very defensively underneath his tower, to be last hitting underneath his tower with the hope that he will be actually missing out on some there. It's actually 41-26, a good lead for Rengar in this bottom lane. But if this top lane keeps going as it is, I mean, it's going to be more important. Ezreal actually has a better lead from this, and we can see they are going 1-2 head-to-head. Spelzy, they did get ignited, and Robert Lee not super healthy either. There is the polymorph on towards Valkyrie. Arcane shift away from Robert Lee, and they decide to back away. The ping's coming in because Katarina was gone from that middle lane again.
Yeah, it was kind of... Well, I mean, it was kind of unfortunate for Ikitaki Mouse, because Lee Sin was in that top lane, like I was saying right before we saw him head down towards middle, but because he actually showed himself there, it made Graves and Leona back. They had to go back and buy. They lost out on, I believe, a full level of experience right there. And Ezreal, who hasn't even bought yet, sitting on how much gold? 1,300 gold, and come back to lane so much stronger than this Graves Leona combo. Even though they had that really nice engage, they were able to get Ezreal and Lulu pretty low, but once they get some items, it's going to completely go back in their favor. And Lee Sin actually invading a little bit here, trying to catch, gets hit right with the flag in the head.
Yeah, they actually saw him coming down there, I guess, from, maybe not from that ward, to be honest, but certainly having the idea that he was coming in there. Is Slushie going towards Orianna, and Lee Sin is coming around that backside. The Q not landing, though, and if that would have hit, that could have possibly been the second kill onto Orianna in this middle lane. Actually not so far behind in the CS, but, well, being forced to go back ahead, back home again is certainly not going to be helping out the cause for Orianna in this middle lane.
Not to mention, Slushie almost has his haunting guys done, and when he gets that done, I mean, damage is just going to completely change. It's going to pretty much get exponential because of the percent, you know, reduction. But also, we have to talk about Ikitaki Masa's Jarvan. I mean, I mentioned a little bit before that it didn't work out too well last time we saw him, and you're seeing this game, his presence has been almost non-existent.
Yeah.
He ganked bot once, actually got Zeke pretty low, forcing him to back out, but that's been about it. We need to see some kind of oracle out of him to, you know, actually get these ganks going, because of the ward coverage currently out of Absolute Legends in that top lane. I mean, you cannot get to them without being spotted, period. You can't get there.
Yeah.
In the bot lane, it's a little bit more open, but we do have Zeke, and he's Cho'Gath. He does have flash, does have teleport. Not going to be really hurting too much.
Yep, and in this top lane, that turret obviously only with 293, below 300 health, as the blue buff just being gifted over there towards Orianna. Absolute Legends set wards along this entire top side of the river, just to make sure they have that vision all in place. Let's see how Cryonics deals here with this CS that's going on. And actually very nicely. So that's actually 44 to 49. Meanwhile, in this top lane, we are going to see the push coming down. Jarvan is there, but, well, there is a slow out of Lulu. You're just not really getting away from that one, or not pushing in with that one in there. There's Katarina now coming around as well. Are they going to try to bait this one out?
Oh, this is going to be great. Oh, if she just waited a little bit longer, I think Jarvan would have gone over that wall to go for a gank again. But instead, they're going to 3-man push. Maybe get an early tower off of this as well.
Yeah, this tower's
as
not
it's
going to
almost
survive.
dead.
They're actually backing away, and look at Slushie. He's actually making good ground here on Graves.
Oh, that's messed up. What Robert's doing, he's just backing that tower. Just letting the CS die. Just maximizing as much experience he can take away in CS from Valkyrian.
So, good stuff so far from Absolute Legends. This bottom lane, so you can, let's have a look at their experience here. Almost level 8. Maxados with this wave is actually going to be hitting level 8. So he is that little bit ahead in the CS, 69 to 58, which you can expect when Cho'Gath was forced to go home earlier. Obviously, Jarvan spending quite a lot of time in this bottom lane, pushing that CS right onto the turret to make sure that Cho'Gath misses it as well. And there is actually going to be the Ezreal push coming in. Maxados now in a lot of trouble as he gets slowed from the phage. Zeken surely will be able to finish this off. There's the ulti coming out of Maxados. And, well, ulti used, not going to be available for a good while now. And, well, they forced that at least.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. They expected him to turn around and go back to lane, but he just went through the trap bush instead. But now they got that early tower. They're sending Cho'Gath to the top lane. Rengar might even head up there as well. As we do see Ikitaki Must trying to push this tower right now. Teleport coming in, so yeah, Zekin will head up to that top lane. Wonder if he will keep 1v2 in though. That's the question.
Now, we'll see here. They are actually headed back, so we'll see if they decide to go down to this bottom lane and keep it 2-on-2. Obviously, the CS between these two AD carries currently around about a 10 difference there. Obviously just clean up. And this is going to be a lot of damage before they can do anything about this push onto the bottom turret.
Yeah, it's at least going to get to half health here. That's all Absolute Legends is doing. They're just starting to like force these towers going down, which we see happen so often in any lane switch. The goal, take a tower early from your AD carry and support, and then just rotate lanes just to get that little bit of a gold lead. We do have, Zeke with that blue buff in the top lane, going to be able to sustain. And in the middle, as you're seeing here, Orianna just trying to stay max range with her ball and farm as much as possible. But Slushie actually in the bot lane, Joe.
Oh, yeah, we are going to see them pushing in there. Spellsy going very low, does have that ultimate on. Robert Lee getting exhausted, but here comes Lee Sin. Are they going to make the move for this one? Actually, will dash out, and he's going to go for Leona. Not sure that he's really got the damage alone, but here comes Katarina from the side. Yoda going to get that kill. There is Katarina, ultimate running, but it's a double kill for Lee Sin. And in the end, Spellsy survived. Orianna going to put her ulti down, but with 3 of them there, not going to be able to pick anything up from that one. Did ignite Slushie, but that just falling to pieces in this bottom lane there for ITK. And that is going to be 4-0, 15.2 to 11.5. That obviously is going to be changing out here as that dragon is going to be started by Absolute Legends. Nothing to stop them doing that one. Jarvan far too far away to do anything about that. And there is the smite down from Lee Sin, and they will extend their lead to a good 5,000, almost.
Yeah, almost. And the CS, I mean, even with this complete gold advantage that Absolute Legends has, the CS is pretty much across the board pretty even. I mean, we have Cho'Gath currently losing to Rengar in the bottom top, whatever lane you want to call them being in at the moment. And then you have Katarina and Orianna just up a little bit, but does have that 1 kill and 2 assists, which is really crucial to get those items just a little bit earlier. Sitting on, that Hunting Guide's penetration, the Sork Boots penetration is going to help out quite a bit, especially to that Chalice, which obviously will be going into Theans and Holy Grail. And then we have Ezreal, 75 to Graves at 66. So, I mean, not much of a CS difference, but the kills are really showing, not to mention the one tower, which we will see a second one going down very shortly, and that dragon just giving them that huge gold lead at 12 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the goal difference in the jungle there, 3,000, almost 4,000 to not quite 2,000. So pretty insane stuff on that front. ITK, you're trying to push down this middle outer turret. Katarina is there. She is 1-0-2, blasting one, haunting guys, sword shoes. You don't want to be getting involved with that Katarina. Doesn't matter how many players you've got there.
Yeah.
She can still cause a lot of damage and force you to back away from that one. Meanwhile, Robert Lee doing a good job of keeping that CS lead up, 88 to 70. Also in that bottom lane. They are going to be trying to take this tower.
I like this ward in mid lane off Katarina, if you want to check that out real quick. I just love these lane wards. Also, I was even mentioning that he needs to start doing this more often because it gives you that crucial vision on an AP mid. I mean, we should see that out of Orianna to stop Katarina from roaming around, or even like a TF, just so you know when he's not there. But the bot lane looks like Itakuma's trying to go in here.
Yeah, ultimate coming out of Leona there, but there is the first kill. Actually, Lulu will pick that one up. I'm not sure that Yoda's going to be able to escape this one. Will dash away to a ward, will kick Rengar away, but there is the finisher. It's Leona that picks it up, so killer piece. Both kills going to the supports. And now Slushie could be facing a little bit of danger. Slushie not going to fall for this one, though, I don't think. Not going to be pushing down. And that will stay safe for them, but good couple of kills, needed kills, I'd say, as well from ITK.
Yeah, in the meantime, when that was happening, since Jarvan was spot on that top lane, Zekin actually stole away that blue buff, which is going to hurt that Orianna quite a bit. I mean, that Chalice, yeah, gives you a lot of regen, but it doesn't give you the cooldown reduction that blue buff gives you, which is very crucial for Orianna. So that's going to hurt them quite a bit if Orianna wasn't already, you know, far enough behind having those 2 deaths. But like you just said, those 2 kills are very crucial for them, going to help them get back in the game, giving Orianna those 2 assists that she's really going to need to start completing some major items. Because, you know, if you're 14 minutes in, you have a Katarina who, you know, is working towards her Abyssal Scepter, going to have that 69 spell penetration.
Nice steal from Robert Lee. He's just taken away red buff and managed to steal the big golem from right under their nose as well. Good play. Meanwhile, Cho'Gath is here down in the bottom side of the jungle. Actually, Jarvan just leaving Rengar alone. Cho'Gath, I guess he probably could have gone for that, to be honest with you. He did have his gnome up as well, but he's more content with just pushing this lane out, getting that farm. And up there is now 10 in the lead, which is a bit of a contrast to what we saw earlier on, Jason, when they were 1v1 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, without Rengar getting an early advantage, he's 1-0-1, but without a little bit more of an advantage, who can he really burst down on Absolute Legends? Lulu. That's it. He can't even kill Katarina anymore because of that Haunting Guys, because of the level difference. But he's losing his gap to actually take advantage. He hasn't been able to roam early on, as also I was saying, with that Orianna Rengar combo, it's pretty much a guaranteed shockwave or ultimate out of Orianna, and he hasn't roamed. He really hasn't. He came mid once, I believe that was, and wasn't successful off of anything.
Well, lots of pings going down. Looks like they may want to have some action in this bottom lane. Lee Sin coming around there. Jarvan actually spotted his position, and they just wanted to stop that tower going down. However, they are going to lose this mid tower, mainly thanks to Cho'Gath, who actually zoned them out there. However, Absolute Legends need to be careful of this bottom lane now because all 5 members are coming in. There was the ultimate coming out of Leona. Lee Sin needs to change direction here. Jarvan coming over to him. Cho'Gath is there as well. We'll get the knock-up on Jarvan, and Katarina is now coming down from this top side. Actually spotted here by a ward, but this fight is going to go in there. Orianna ultimate, there is the Ezreal ultimate. Jarvan's ultimate coming in as well. Katarina is in the middle of the fight. Actually will pick up 1 kill. The kill's being spread nicely. There is a 4th. Can they ace here?
Wow.
Cryonic's moving down, and I think they're going to back away, take this inner turret and that middle lane as well. They're still pretty healthy, especially Cho'Gath, obviously, who currently Glacial Shroud, Heart of Gold, those Ninja Tabby, going to head his way in toward that tower. And I tell you what, Orianna doesn't want to be trying to defend this one.
And
Max
Katarina.
range at the most. And Katarina.
But that was such an amazing play out of Yoda. I don't know if you spotted it, Joe, but he saw Rengar actually walk in, and with that, he actually queued, I think, a little bit past him and popped his E just to get that vision on him. So even if he did stealth, they could spot him and keep that Orianna ball away from their Ezreal. It was such a perfect play, and that's why they're running that Lee Sin to counter that invisibility that Rengar has. That's his, like, pretty much surprise. That's the only thing he really needs to get in there, and if they deny that completely, how's he supposed to do any damage? And they took that for 4 kills for 0 deaths. And that's pretty much an ideal trade, if not like the best trade you could possibly go for. Then, you don't even give me that look, Joe.
An ideal trade, 4 for 0.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely
it could have been 5.
It could have been 5. Could have been the
5
ace.
Baron, 6 towers.
Then it wasn't ideal. Damn it. I'll be unhappy about that one. But 9-2, it's a 10,000 gold lead. Look at the CS here as well. 10 CS lead for Cho'Gath. Jungle is more, middle is more, AD carry is more, even the supports are racking them up there. Lulu with 14 CS. And so overall is a very promising position here for Absolute Legends NA. As I said, the only American team in this tournament flying the flag for the US.
Have you been waiting to use that one, Joe? Flying the flag?
No, but I'm going to use it again.
Well, we do have item builds starting to come into fruition. Rengar, 2/3 of his Triforce done. And that Frozen Heart on Cho'Gath just makes him so tanky. I mean, you have Rengar who's AD, you have Graves AD. Graves basically be doing no damage, not to mention that huge CS disadvantage that Graves has. But Dragon going to be going down again over to Absolute Legends, 2nd of the game for them. And they're just looking very solid for this. I mean, they're going to be, if they win this game, obviously going into the finals against the winner of Meteor Makers and Kuala Lumpur Hunters. And I think they might be a team that can take one of those two teams down.
Yeah, definitely. They were, I'd say with MYM and ELO Hell, obviously the three teams that everyone was really tipping for those top 3 positions in this one, as they have spotted Rengar there just pinging his position, and the rest of Absolute Legends going to cave in on towards this upper inner turret. Are ITK going to try and defend? I just don't honestly think that they can. They don't really have enough damage or anything, but we are going to see Jarvan go right into the middle of them there. Decides not to ulti in. There was the ball though coming down. Graves will ulti down as well, but look at the damage. It's just too high for Absolute Legends. They will lose Lee Sin. Orianna getting that kill. There goes the kill for Katarina. Taking down Leona. The rest of ITK, are they going to be able to hold on? Got wards there. They can put that pink ward down just to try and counter the Rengar. It's like, oh, Rengar's ulti. Let's put the pink ward down. But in the end, did get it off, so it wasn't all that bad of a trade for ITK. I mean, they've lost their support. They've taken down Lee Sin. Good stuff from that point of view. But you just saw, if that ultimate, I mean, pretty much all the ultimates out of ITK were perfect there. With just one of those missing, that would have been a totally different thing.
Yeah, and the problem is that they're down 12,000 gold right now, Joe. It's 19 minutes. 12,000 gold difference at this point is just unheard of almost. And they have to make a big play. They have to start defending these towers, even though they can't. That's the problem. They have to make something happen, and as Katarina takes out Graves, you see him take her down as well. So just gonna arcade shift over that wall, not be too afraid of Rengar, but still, we need to see like a sneaky Baron of ITK. There's no way they can come back at the moment if they don't go for something like that, unless Absolute Legends just starts pulling an ELO Hell out, I'll say.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're going to be doing anything risky at this point. I mean, why? They've got a ton of wards down on that top side of the ITK jungle, which means Baron, a possibility, but again, you have to weigh up the difference. Is it worth it? Yes, if you take it down without any complications, you further extend that lead, plus the buff that you can get from it is maybe enough to finish out this game.
But the downside, though.
But the downside, if you end up losing it, then you could possibly throw the game.
Exactly, and there's no point in heading down that road. So they're just going to play smart, just push these towers down. They have 5 towers to 0 right now in favor of them, which is astonishing, to be honest. They have so much map control with his Oracle on Zekin right now. He's able to clear out any of these wards, and this makes it so ITK can't even push outside of their base right now. We're seeing Graves in that bottom lane because he has that turret he can back up to, but that is it.
Yeah, and by taking out these wards as well, I mean, they've not got that much gold as it goes anyway, but once they start stripping out ward after ward after ward, they need that vision if they're going to be able, if they're going to want to compete on any kind of level when it comes towards Baron. And there you see it, they've taken out the wards. What happens? They ping straight up towards Baron, and they know that if they don't go there, that Baron's either going to go down, but they also know if they do go there, they're possibly running into a trap.
As they are right now. They put a ward down just to spot him coming in. Rengar going to get caught here.
Yeah, Rengar going to get caught. Actually gets knocked up and silenced as well, and that's enough to finish him off. Actually, ulti from Ezreal did come out. Orianna's ultimate was used, but look at the damage it did. You can hardly see it.
Exactly. I mean, it's just having real items. The Themes on Holy Grail isn't going to be enough to do anything here, but with the Cho'Gath, his Nom is down, so it is possible for Jarvan to steal it, though he is level 10 compared to level 12 Yoda, so this might not going to do as much damage, but they're going to continue with this Baron.
Yeah, they're leaving now.
Yeah, there's nothing they can really do. And you're talking about the ward coverage right now, and the supports have almost a 2,000 gold difference, and that is so many wards that you can put down, so many oracles you could have. It's such a huge snowball for supports if you have that ability to get those kills, to get that even a little bit of CS. He's sitting at 18-3 right now. It really does snowball. That extra vision could save you from 1 or 2 deaths, which could snowball against you. It's just not looking good at all for ITK, especially with this Baron picked up.
Ezreal now, Trinity Force Bloodthirster finished. Katarina obviously needs the Large Rod, Abyssal Scepter, Haunting Guys, Sork Shoes, compared to Athene's Unholy Grail, as you said before, and only 980 gold currently with Orianna as well. Lee Sin, he's coming back into the fight. Aegis is now finished, got a Phage, plus that Wriggles for Cho'Gath, actually picking up a Giant Spell, plus a Negatron Cloak, and obviously that Frozen Heart that was finished earlier on. So just across the board, item advantage, kill advantage, level advantage, just everything with Absolute Legends right now. This would take a pretty horrible throw to lose the game.
They need to pull Yellow Hell to lose the game, as Ocelot looks over, kind of smiling about that comment. I'll be another push in the last outer turret right now. This is going to be 6 turrets for 0 still in favor of Absolute Legends. And with this Baron buff, they should be able to commit to a inhibitor here. I mean, with this Cho'Gath, if he's taking the turret, you take no damage from that with his amount of armor he has. And of course, having a Katarina on your team.
Yeah. The thing is, Cho'Gath, all he needs to do here is wait for Rengar to actually come in there, and well, he's got the Oracle on. So
right.
Rengar's not as invisible as he may want to be. Obviously, it'd be nice to get a silence on Orianna if Rengar's running into, so she can't pop that ultimate, which is kind of the whole point of that combo. But we do see that ward put down. They are surely going to be sieging down this turret here in just a few moments. Not got much HP. They've got plenty of damage between them to do that. There we go. Ball is on Rengar. They've spotted him. And you see they instantly knock back as a flash comes down. Where is the ultimate going to come down? There it is. He catches 3 of them. But they've already lost Rengar and Graves. Double kill for Katarina. And that is a triple kill, a quadra kill for Katarina. And, well, just one man spoiling the fun for Katarina.
Scumbag Lee Sin.
Katarina.
You really want people to get drunk, don't you, Joe? Yeah, this will be game for Absolute Legends, though. They will will pretty much win this best of 3, 2-0, and we'll be facing the winner of Meet Your Makers and Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Congratulations to them.
Yeah, I mean, this one, again, I'd say probably a little bit closer than the first one, but it still was a bit of a one-way street, wasn't it? This Nexus is going to go down. You can see Absolute Legends actually going to flash into the fountain for the style points there at the end. 17-4 overall, 44 to 24,000 gold by the end, 9 turrets to 0 as well. Yeah, one-way street.
Very one way. As it looks like, look at Absolute Legends, they look very happy right now, very relieved as he's zeking on the left with that Teemo hat. Still waiting for him to pop out his secret champion that hasn't been announced yet. Maybe we'll see it against the, in the finals.
Well, maybe in the finals. Obviously, they will be playing the winner of Meet Your Makers versus Kuala Lumpur Hunters, which will be coming up next. Actually, I can see Meet Your Makers sat down here. I'm guessing they're going to be playing maybe from the tournament area.
I believe they're switch.
I was going to say Kuala Lumpur Hunters aren't even there, so I guess that they will be switching up after this game for that one as well. So, guys, we are going to throw it over to the analysis desk where those cool kids are going to break it down.
Thank you very much, Joe and Jason, for a pretty one-sided best of 3, really, there. I mean, Absolute Legends, they came, they saw, and they dominated. That was a strong performance for them. Unfortunately for ITK, the Singaporean team that's here to represent, just couldn't pull it out.
They couldn't. There was no way. I mean, there wasn't any moment you could see them coming back or something. They just got outplayed, I guess.
I mean, the picks they came in with, they had the Orianna, they had the Rengar, and immediately, just, okay, you're going to get the Rengar. And we talked about it, you know, how great an initiator it is. But it's not going to work when he's in lane.
Yeah, indeed. Like, Rengar jungle would have been totally perfect to at least try to shut down Katarina. Didn't happen. They went for this strange Yavan jungle, which I'm not with it, to be honest. Yavan is, in my opinion, a really not so strong jungler. He lacks some damage or he lacks some tankiness, and his ganks are decent, but we couldn't see this game any successful gank. Was this overall a bad game by ITK?
Generally, I just want to add the lane mechanics really did seem to be strongly in the favor of AL here. We saw CS leads very, very early on, and even with really good ganks there on the solo lanes in bot, even there, Zigen stayed in the game, calmly continued farming, and became a much, much stronger influence than that Rengar. Because you say, yeah, the Rengar initiation doesn't work if Rengar is in lane, but also it doesn't work if Rengar gets switched off like a light bulb if he goes anywhere near the enemy team, which we are going to see.
Well, I mean, it just got to that stage where just wasn't enough damage. So let's have a look at the replay. We did have one lined up. It was really the point where IFTP's trying to initiate as much as he can, as goes diving in, but it's just, the damage just wasn't there for the team.
Yeah, look at the Katarina in the top left corner. She's still not going in. There she finds her place, goes into the brush, immediately gets exhausted, but gets enough damage off before that anyway. Double kill for her, double kill for Ezreal. And that was kind of the moment where ITK would have to go, oh, this is not going so good. And if I can just jump forward to another point here.
Yeah, I mean, it was only 5-2 at that stage, so
it wasn't too bad.
The jungle fight was
exactly.
okay, but they weren't really in a position to take that fight.
And then the next thing we're going to see now is we are going to see ITK Mas actually pulling off their combo as perfectly as they could ever hope to pull it off, with Rengar going in invisible, the perfect shockwave initiation, and just look at the damage on AL, or rather look at the damage that should have been on AL that just isn't there, because AL basically struck off that perfect initiation.
So there's the Leona going in. Here comes the Rengar with the ball on his head. And there's the shockwave. But like you mentioned, there's nothing to follow it up. There's just no damage to go. And the True Shot Barrage hit everyone. And then, well, Absolute Legends just turned around and went, well, that went okay. Let's just kill them all.
Yep. And that's pretty much game at this point. If you pull off your target combo perfectly and it has no impact on the game, well, might as well.
You may as well just think, okay, we can't really sit this one out. We can't stall the game out any longer. So Absolute Legends go into the final, looking pretty strong this morning, it has to be said. Sometimes you're just not sure how the team's going to turn up. You know, they could have a fantastic group stage game. Say, generally when there's a double limb tournament, sometimes you'll see that team get knocked down to the lower bracket so early on and just come back through the whole day because they play so many games. Do you think Absolute Legends are going to come into this one possibly against either Meteor Makers or
Kuala Lumpur
Hunters in the final and have a big upset? I mean, are they now the favorites?
I think, well, after these semifinals, we saw AL is capable of doing something great.
Mm-hmm.
So it will actually depend on how. I honestly think Meteor Maker is going to make it to the finals. We will see. I hope there are really close games. But in the finals, everything can happen. I really thought at the beginning that AL stand no chance against Meteor Makers, but after seeing all the games they did, I'm actually hesitating.
Because, I mean, they've shown technically two different team comps there, that they're quite adequate at running. They ran them quite well, and they just, you know, dominated the position of ITK Mas, who actually put on a good show yesterday.
Yeah, indeed.
And I think we have to point out too that we should be very happy for our American fans who may be watching this, because I think it's like the late evening for them or early evening for them.
It's 11:30 in New York, so
for nerds that's the early evening. Because it would have been a shame for them with CLGNA unable to attend the tournament if they had no one to represent them. And I think, honestly, AL are doing a really good job representing their continent here at this tournament.
It's good to see these teams come through. We said it last weekend when Eclipsia and Kersey, you were in the finals, obviously knocking out yourselves and Moscow 5, which everyone had you pretty much penciled in without being disrespectful to the other teams. That's going to be the final, SK versus Moscow 5, but it didn't happen. And it's good to see, not from your point of view, it wasn't good to see, but it's good to see from our point of view, other teams coming through. Because if, say, you know, Vettel goes and wins the championship in the Formula 1, that's 3 seasons running. It gets stale. It's Schumacher all over again, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to see someone winning it for years and years and years running, because then there's no fun, there's no tournament, there's nothing to watch. But it also makes the whole game stale across the board.
It's a little more interesting for the professional player itself. Because having in mind that there are a lot of newcomers makes you try hard more, and it's even better for the viewer, because if every team try hard more, there will be better games. There will be, the meta game is gonna develop in many different ways.
It's hard to stay at the top. You know, obviously you get complacent as well, I guess.
Yeah, of course, it's really hard, really hard. Like people like, well, these guys, AL for instance, Eclipsia, whatever, you know. A lot of new guys come in. They play so good. You have to find different ways to beat them. Really hard, man.
And so do you think, we mentioned this yesterday or day before, sorry, about the fact that these 5v5 ranking system that's coming in, that obviously Riot are trying to push to get the whole qualification system running for Season 3, is this going to pull from your option? Obviously you see a whole plethora of solo queue players that just aren't in the pro scene. Do you think some of those solo queue players are going to be, you know, forged together some strong teams? Obviously we've seen it technically from a close enough advantage like alternate, I guess. You know, they've got obviously a lot of highly elo players pulled together to form that team.
Yeah, to 2,800 plus.
Yeah.
They just go together, create a team. First month, they win everybody.
Yeah.
That's how it is, and a lot of new teams will appear with the same kind of
mentality. Yeah. And is that possible? Because obviously the soft elo reset, you think that's changed a few mindsets, but people already, I mean, at that top level, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, actually, when you saw that team, probably you know the scene, you probably knew the guys. But a guy that is just watching esports constantly, but is actually 1400 elo, he doesn't know them, you know.
Yeah.
But a guy of 2400 plus, he will know them for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like Tabs and Eclipse here. I mean, we knew damn well that he's the known Fizz player, but anyone else that's out of that bracket would have no clue.
I mean, Tabs is in the scene for quite long.
He's been around. He's been around quite a few teams as well, yeah.
And he was always a good Fizz player, and in general, a good player overall. And right now is his time. He's demonstrating how good he is, and he's not the only one actually. What is this?
This is the Razor. This is the Razor now purchased for Joe Miller.
Yep. For Joe Miller, man.
Yeah.
There we go. You can take it.
So I already wrote about this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Scumbag ESL.
Yes.
The company that I love with all my heart and I've worked for 4 years. You know, I'm giving away my hair, which I've grown for longer than 4 years, I must admit. And they bought a dog shaver. They bought a dog shaver.
Well, I can see why, Joe. I can see why.
And you know what? They bought a dog shaver, and you know what the woman said? It's not got guarantee. Which fills me full of confidence. My
It's okay.
God.
You're going to get a treat.
No kidding.
He's in for a treat. So Joe Miller, we are going to see a shaven Joe Miller at some point in the day. So that will be happening. We'll have it here on camera. I'm sure the cameras will be in place. Carmack's delighted about this one. Bastian's laughing. They're all loving the fact they've got this dog shaver.
Carmack?
Would you
Never.
I mean, these locks, these have been growing for a long time. Would you ever go to that stage?
20 million followers, maybe?
20 million. 20 million.
Your rivalry.
That's my prize.
Getting close to Justin Bieber status.
Yes. No, basically no, is what I'm saying.
Basically no. So anyway, moving on, we have a bit of a competition for you guys. You can win Intel SSD and Patriot Limited Memory. So there's 5 memory chips, or what do you class them as? Five like, memory. What are they called these days?
Banks, I guess.
I don't know. Everybody knows what memory is anyway in a computer. All you guys watching, you know what a memory stick is. So
there you go.
5 memory sticks you could to win, as well as an Intel SSD. So how do you win it? You've got to take a picture of your setup that you're watching us right now in. It doesn't have to be just us on the screen. Anything, you know, League of Legends, can also be StarCraft 2 as well. There's all sorts going on, obviously, this weekend. But it's got to be of IEM Singapore, the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore, happening right now today. Obviously, you're going to be today because you've only got 2 more days to do it in. And you're going to take a picture. So whatever your setup is, whether you're watching it on a TV, your laptop, your iPhone, whatever, you know, media that you would be watching us on, whether it's, you could just be on the phone in the train. I don't know how you'd take a picture of the phone in the train. You'd have to get somebody else's phone to take a phone. It'd be like phoneception going on. That's what you could do. And he's just passed me, slipped me the note that says 5 RAMs and Intel SSD. I've already said that.
We are saying that right now.
That's not so sneaky, but you can see the sponsors right there as well. But so take a photo of it, and you've got to email it. So of that photo, I mean, you could link it to us as well on Twitter if you like, but the way to enter the competition is you email it singapore@esl.eu. So I say that again, Singapore, that's SINGAPORE, Singapore, you know how to spell it, at esl.eu. It could even be, ladies and gentlemen, you guys in the stage area. You could take a photo of that stage area and say, hey, this is how I'm watching it. I'm live here in the stage. So and then email it across to Singapore@eslu. The best 5 pictures will get the Patriot memory. You'll get 1 stick of memory. And, of course, those 5 pictures will put up for a vote on the by Tuesday, the 27th of November. The best 5 pictures will be picked from Facebook by the fans, so you can vote for it. So, you know what? I think the best picture could well come from the stage area.
That would be great.
Yeah, indeed.
Unless someone's got a pretty kick-ass setup back at home. There could be. There's some home cinemas out there that are pretty good. If you could be watching us on that setup. So that is what you're going to do. So an Intel SSD, that is up for grabs. And that is, we've actually been running the hot swap SSDs throughout this whole tournament, which is how we're switching the matches around so quick. I don't know what your opinion is, obviously, from what we've had, you know, tournaments you've been at, but to be able to just have your setup sat there on an SSD, just come in, hot swap it, so hot swap the hard drive, bang, there you go, there's your setup. It's got all your keyboard settings here, so you could be either back here in the player area or on the stage, and it's going to be straight away, that's all your setup.
Basically, in every game I've been playing in offline events and stuff, like World of Warcraft, or like Day of Defeat or whatever, I always had my USB, you know.
Ah, right, right.
It was always like that. But it's really really good. The fact that right now is like more automatized, and the fact that it right now is really much like easier, you know.
And Lee, I believe we may have an interview actually.
We
like
do
that.
have an interview, so we're going to pull in one of the Absolute Legends players. Someone needs to switch
Yeah.
out.
I
Looks
will.
like it's going to be Ocelot.
Unless
Wasn't
you have-
expected.
Well, unless you
No,
have interesting questions.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes.
Yep, please.
Sit yourself down. So we're going to be joined by Absolute Legends. And apologies, I don't know what your name is. I can't see your back. I'm trying to look at the back of the shirt, see
Put
if
it
there's
on,
a
put it
name
on.
on it. It's
There you go.
Yoda.
Hello.
Yoda.
Hello, Yoda.
What's up?
We could have had Ocelot do this just because I liked hearing Ocelot say Yoda.
Yoda. How you doing, Yoda?
New York.
I'm all right.
You feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, we just won, so.
Just one. So you're into the grand finals.
Yeah.
I mean, to start with, how are you liking Intel Extreme Masters Singapore? Obviously, this is, I'm guessing, your first trip to Singapore?
I've been here before, but this is my first one for League of Legends.
Okay, so this is this your first trip as a team as well?
Yeah, this is our first LAN event. It's
First
really
LAN
exciting.
event. Wow, into the finals on the first LAN event. Pressure's right there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how's it gone for you guys? How's the trip, the flight over? It's a long flight.
Yeah, it was, I think it was 20 hours for most of us, with including a long layover.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's a lot of travel time. I've got to do the same thing, obviously, on Monday, because I'm going to be going the same way as you guys. But I mean, how did you practice for this event? Did you, coming into it, did you get scrims with some of the top NA teams? How was it? How was it going?
Actually, we got hooked up with C accounts, and then we used those to play against a lot of the Asian teams.
Oh, so you practiced with the Asian teams to see how the aggression would be. Was it particularly Singaporeans, Koreans?
We've played against TPA.
Okay, well, wow. You've had the
a
top
newish,
practice then.
a newish Taiwanese team, and also I think like most of the top teams in Singapore. We played against Tremendo, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. Singapore Sentinels, the team we just played against, we also scrimmed, and also we scrimmed against a lot of people.
So what sort of advantage would that have given you if you've played against these guys already? Did you kind of know what they were going to come out, or did they play different style to what they practiced with?
Yeah, actually, those scrims gave us a lot of insight into the play style of this region. And on top of that, we also made friends with a lot of players, and we also got like you know how in NA people would have like individual players, they would know what to ban. So we kind of got that a little bit of that here too. So we got I guess.
So you knew Diana was the one you wanted. Was that we know when you first picked Diana in the first game? Was that particularly against them because Cryo had played some pretty good Diana in the group stages?
Right. Yeah. We also watched the group stages, so we knew Cryo had a really really good Diana, and Slushi also plays a great Diana.
Yeah.
So we knew Diana was like either first pick it or ban it. And
yeah, Slushi did okay on Diana.
Yeah, I'd say he did all right.
He was fine, yep. Can I just ask, how did your scrims against SGS go?
Oh, we just got completely demolished. They picked like Karma, Urgot.
That's their shield strat.
Yeah, their shield strat.
Yep.
And we had like a Karthus, and he was like, oh, I can't. My ult is basically not a spell because they'll just shield it.
Yeah.
So,
the reason I'm asking is because Meteor Makers, who you potentially might meet in the finals, apparently went 1-3 in scrims against SGS. So
really? Yeah.
SGS seems very, very strong at the moment.
Yeah, because Meteor Makers, they came here and they've sneakily practiced in the Garena Arena, haven't they?
In the Garena Stadium, yes.
It was a great name, the Garena Arena.
I think they called it a stadium for just that reason.
Yeah. So they've practiced it. So they came here sneakily practicing. So how have you guys set up for this? Obviously, you've come in, you've practiced pretty well. I mean, your first event, there been big nerves across on the main stage or anything like that?
Yeah, there were a lot of nerves, basically. I mean, I've been to some LANs for a different game, Heroes of Nearth, but the rest of my team, I think this is like their first LAN. So there were definitely a lot of nerves going into it. Razer was nice enough to let us use their office to practice.
Right.
So we had a really comfortable, perfect LAN environment to practice in. And we also went to the Garena Stadium for a little bit to practice with the Asian teams.
So Garena have really been the good guys here.
Yep.
Nice.
So we definitely got hooked up very well.
That's great to hear that that the other organisations are helping out so well. I mean, so you're looking at MYM in the final. What do you know about MYM? Is there anything that you're prepared for? I mean, we've seen Kubon running a pretty fearsome Jax on that top lane.
Oh yeah, MYM. I don't want to give away exactly what we
don't
know.
obviously give us your band strats because they're going to be setting up right now hearing this.
We have a pretty decent handle on them. We realize they do a lot of early game pressure with, I guess, around Nunu.
Yeah.
From what we've seen, and their late game is based around picking one off and then getting the pentakill, I guess, or getting like a snowballed fight, which could end in a pentakill. So yeah, that's basically what we've seen of them.
Oh, good stuff.
So one question that I have in both these games, you played Lee Sin in both of them, right?
Yeah.
These games right now. So in the first game, we saw that the Maokai was a very early pick that came out of Itadakimasu, and we predicted the Lee Sin to come out as a reaction to that. But was that even a reaction, or were you just going to play Lee Sin anyway?
Basically, the way we see it between our two teams, we knew that D-Dan, since we practiced with him, he plays a decent Lee Sin.
Ah, okay.
But then he didn't pick it, so we were like, we'll just take it, because Lee Sin, with Diana, we have a particularly decent, really good mid game, and Lee Sin is one of probably the best mid game champion in the game. So we wanted to combo Lee Sin with Diana, basically.
Makes sense.
And when Rengar was picked, I mean, we saw it at the start. They first selected, I think it was Shen, then they went Rengar, then they went Orianna. So you're like, okay, we know kind of what build is coming here. Were you a little bit surprised to see Rengar run in lane?
We were pretty surprised about Rengar. Well, not that surprised, because basically what we knew about their top lane was in all 3 games in the qualifiers he played Irelia or Jax, and they picked Jax early.
Right.
So we were just going to ban those.
So you banned, you banned
so
Irelia
then
Jax.
we figure the best top hero in the game is Rengar. So we weren't that surprised by the Rengar. We also, we were a little bit prepared. We wanted a 2v1 against it, because Rengar is extremely strong 1v1, and especially our top laner, Zekant, he has experience against Rengar, but he doesn't have the practice 20 games or 20 games daily or whatever that most people would want to have, right? So we decided to 2v1 against it, and that was basically our plan. We knew they also wanted to play it. We had a feeling it was going to be Rengar because they picked Orianna on the first pick, and they go really well, right? So
were you surprised that they tried to switch the kill lane of Leona up the top to match you guys? I mean, Robert Lee must have been like, well, this is nice and easy then.
Yeah, we were prepared for that. Once they saw Robert basically in the tri-bush, in the early, I think they warded the tri-bush and they saw him there. Yep. So we knew they knew about it, and then we were like, okay, that's fine. We'll just take golems, and then Cho'Gath safely farm and just play our lanes, because we have golems, and I think Robert is one of our strongest mechanical players, so we're very confident in his 2v2 abilities.
Certainly did very well on Graves and Ezreal, so it doesn't seem, I mean, they tried to ban it out. Obviously, they banned out Graves, so that's a bit of a tip of their hat towards him. But is there anything else that kind of caught you out today? Or even in the tournament, to be honest?
In the tournament, I'd say just the overall quality of the teams. They were, obviously of the teams they were able to assemble, because there was really late notice of Azubu canceled, TLJNA canceled.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty glad they were able to, I mean, other than that one team in our group, they were they were able to assemble a pretty decent squad of decently leveled players for the tournament. So that was impressive to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see the Singapore scene shining well, and Itadakimasu, I thought actually, yesterday was so entertaining to commentate on. I just feel sorry for Jason; he didn't get a decent game today. But so were you expecting more today, or do you feel that's just how it was going to go today?
We did expect some pretty good games. I feel like we got a really big edge by doing our homework. And getting some inside information. So. We expected to win, but we didn't expect it to be 22-4 or 17-4.
Talk to me about that homework aspect. What are you going to be looking at, especially now, as I assume you're going to watch the second semi-final of Meet Your Makers versus Kuala Lumpur Hunters? Is there anything specific you're going to be looking out for that will still affect your decisions in the game? Or are you completely prepared and you're we know what we're going to do against Meet Your Makers?
We mostly just know what we're going to ban, but we don't particularly have a playstyle in mind. We're going to definitely watch these games very closely. I think Kuala Lumpur Hunters are a pretty solid team as well. So if MYM wins, they're definitely going to have to tip their hand a little bit about what they like to do. So we're definitely going to watch.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's good. So this is your first big event. How are you finding it? You're happy with, obviously you're happy with getting the final, but as an event, you feel you've now shaken off the nerves of being on stage?
Yeah, I think we've definitely shaken it off, and a lot of our players actually excel, I find.
That's very good.
They've played a lot better here than online. So
they're better than their home environment. That's really impressive. I mean, that's the sign of great players, basically.
Yeah.
If they can come and shine. Obviously, the top teams you've seen in NA, that you guys are now going to start threatening. Do you think you guys can start threatening, knocking on the door of the TSMs, the CLGs, the Dignitas?
I mean, we're not looking. I mean, we eventually hope to do that. Right now, our main goal is the Season 3 championship, and those 3 teams will not be participating. So we're not really looking at those 3 teams targeted. We're looking more at Fear, Quantic, and there was one other team, Curse.
Yes.
And those we're mostly looking at those 3 teams to
Bench.
knock on their door. Yeah, bench them.
Yes, bench curse.
Speaking of benching, what do you think of poor Cody being benched? Elements.
Oh, I mean, I don't really look into the drama of that. I heard it was just for one event based on a Reddit post.
Is it just on one event?
But I
So
don't-
they said they're gonna bring Rux out to IPL 5, and then they'll see how it goes.
Right.
But from the tweets, it really sounded like Elements kind of like I understand where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, Elements is he's a great guy, and I don't really study their team mechanics or their drama because we haven't played against them in like a big tournament yet.
Yeah.
But I just don't really think about that. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
it's something you never want to think about as a player, being benched in a team, especially in that sort of environment. So how is it going for the Season 3 qualifications? Are you guys starting to stack up the 5v5 wins?
I think our ranked 5 team might have a win yet. I'm not sure, but
You might want to get that working.
yeah, we're probably going to get that working pretty soon. Yeah, we'll get on that.
that is kind of how you get into Season 3. Do you think you guys have got what it takes to get into that Season 3? Get yourself a nice salaried team?
I mean, I think we have a pretty good shot. The way I saw it, based on the teams like that I know about, there are like 7 teams that have a pretty good shot at 5 slots. So I think we are among those 7, and I feel like we may be able to. Yeah, I think we have a pretty good shot. It's going to be close, though.
Excellent. Well, it's good to talk to you. Yeah, this is Yoda from Absolute Legends. Is there anything sort of shout-outs you want to make to your friends, family that might be watching at home?
I guess shout out to all my friends that tuned in to watch me, and also shout out to our sponsors, definitely Razer, because they were nice enough to like let us stay at their office, basically let us. They even have someone following us around, like helping us around Singapore.
That's great.
Yeah. Also shout out to Orkbite and Twitch, and Special Tech.
And finally, how are you finding Singapore? Have you had a chance to look around, do a bit of sightseeing while you're here?
We haven't really done that much sightseeing. We have, I guess, have the same impression as everyone. It's really humid,
Yes, it
except
is.
indoors, where it's which is pretty cold. And I guess the level of civilization is pretty high. We're pretty happy. Most everyone we've seen is like bilingual.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
that's-
English is one of the main languages here, so
Right.
it makes it easy for you guys, certainly.
Right, so that's really cool. They have a nice public transportation system, which we've used. And the cabs are actually really cheap, too. So, yeah, we like the country.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for joining us, Yoda, and best of
you.
luck in the final. And we'll see how it goes against possible Meteor Makers or whether it's going to be the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Who would you favour?
I mean, we've actually gotten pretty friendly with Kuala Lumpur Hunters
Right.
since yes, I guess 2 days ago. So I want them to win, but I think it'll be a close game. It depends on if MYM did their homework, and also on Kuala Lumpur if they did their homework. But I think MYM has an edge going in.
They definitely have an edge. They looked really strong yesterday.
Yeah, they just threw their group stage.
They
Right?
threw
And
out the
it
group,
wasn't, I don't think any game was close.
No.
No, there was one game that they were 2-9 behind, but then Vayne.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were
then
they were
Vayne.
10-2 behind. Yeah, they were 10-2 behind,
yeah,
and then
10-2,
Vayne
right,
happened.
that's-
Yeah, and
yeah.
they gave Vayne too many kills.
It was
And
like,
that
we'll just give Vayne a quad kill. It's going to be fine. Nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah, I've never seen a Vayne query after getting a quad kill. That's ridiculous.
yeah, that was so that was happened. So, thank you very much for joining us. It's good to meet you, Yoda.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Thank you very much. Good luck.
best of luck in the finals, and we'll see you in a few hours.
All right, see you.
Okay. So that is Yoda from Absolute Legends. We are here at the Intel Extreme Masters, and I guess it's time to take a break since there's just the two of us stood here.
And that's going to be very
we
boring.
will have the. We could have a conversation. We could create a champion live on air. This is something we might do during the
yes.
downtime. But
I would much rather discuss Joe's hair.
Joe,
honestly.
we could also discuss
Or,
Joe's hair.
of course,
we just got a
Jason.
Jason Kaplan.
Jason Kaplan. I thought you were also
But I love
Then I
you.
looked at your muscles.
Oh.
Can't help it, you know. When you work out and you don't work out, it's quite obvious who has the more muscles.
Ocelot just sat to the side. He's not sure whether to be disgusted or
Complimented.
or complimented. Yeah.
It's very confusing.
But so Jason, pretty one-sided game to start with.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking the entire time, why does Joe and Demon always get the good ones?
I was asking
Exactly
you too.
what Daniel said during the game. Says you get all the good games.
It's,
I'm hoping for this next one to be good.
It could well be a good game, and
Yoda
Yoda just said
thought so.
that he thinks Kuala Lumpur Hunters have actually got a pretty good shot at this.
Yeah. I mean, you said they've been practicing with them quite a bit, correct? At the Garena Arena?
The Garena Arena.
Stadium.
That
Let's just call it the stadium.
I don't know. I like the Garena Arena. It rolls off your tongue.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing I thought was that Yola said that MIM are going to show their hand, have to show their hand to beat Kuala Lumpur Hunters, because it is not going to be as easy that as the group stage was for them. So we might see something exciting come out of Meet Jamaicas, and if they bring something out of left field, then the question is going to be, if they make it to the finals, how are AL going to react to something like that? Because there's always the question, if you show your hand in the semi-finals, the other team has, I mean, there's going to be a StarCraft 2 quarterfinal, right, in between. So the other team is going to have some time to at least sit down and talk about this, and how are we going to counter this 4 teleport strat or whatever.
And the other thing that, so many times we hear these teams go, oh, we've got the super secret strat, it's amazing, it's awesome. They so often don't work when they come to an event.
Yeah.
They'll play it, and whether they've put pressure on themselves with this super secret strat because they have it in their head that this is going to be amazing, and if things suddenly don't work at the start, it backfires.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dignitas maybe at the Season 2 World Finals with the Tarek roaming.
Yeah.
Granted, Dyrus leaked the information.
A little bit.
We weren't giving the name away, but Dyrus kind of outed himself really in his vlog. So,
well, then again, I mean,
like
at
that
Gamescom, SK, they had a secret strat against CLGU, pulled it off, and it worked insanely well for them.
Got them second place at the regionals, and it worked so well. They're now in the Season 3 tournament, so they are ready and waiting in that one. They don't have to go through, like Absolute Legends just said, that 5v5 rank system. That that's going to be a precious situation in itself. But so often we see at these tournaments, these super secret strategies, they just don't work.
And not to mention, they have to get over the, Joe shaving his head in the meantime.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's very
I mean,
distracting.
there's a lot of hair that's going to get flying everywhere. We could maybe charity sell that off. We could make a fortune.
I'm going to keep a locket, actually.
You're going to
sell
keep
it on eBay.
That's slightly scary that you're going to keep a locket of your
I think it's scarier
co-caster's
the person
hair.
who's going to buy it.
Yes, that's great.
You can get a long locket right here. I mean, this is some pretty long stuff.
These are expensive, man.
These are expensive.
This is spun gold.
It's a lot of maintenance right there.
Yeah, that's true. Nice.
So I mean, that's going to happen if you are unaware. If you can follow Joe Miller at Joe_Miller, he's now past 20,000 Twitter followers, so he's grateful to you guys, and it also means he's going to cut all of his hair off. So we're going to see a nice shaven Joe Miller for the finals.
Nice.
We're going to hopefully see it in action. We could even analyze it, maybe break it down for you to see whether the flow with this dog shaver is going to be quite.
And yes, Lee, there seems to be some amount of blood.
It's a little bit of clogging as it goes across the side there. But that's going to happen.
Nice.
I think we should all take turns, actually, like taking a strip off his hair.
Have a strip of hair apiece.
Yeah.
Arsenal's all for that. Look at he's nodding like that. I'm not sure whether Joe would be quite happy about that. That's the thing.
He's not too happy that I'm doing it already, so.
Oh, you've already
Supposedly I'm doing it, yeah.
You're going to do the whole thing?
I'm willing to share the honor with you guys if you want.
Have you shaved a man's head before?
I used to do my own hair, actually.
You used to do your own hair. Okay, so that's fine. I mean, I used to have a shaved head as well, so I've kind of done my own hair as well before. But now it's a case of I might have to shave my own hair because it's slowly but surely slipping away.
It's easier that way.
Yeah, it's not going to go any further. Rest assured. Look, still there's a full crown and everything. It's all good. So
well done.
At least it's not graying. I have grey hair.
There's grey hairs in there. I just get it cut short.
Why are we talking about our hair? I don't know.
What, do you not want to talk about your head? I know you've got the most of all of us.
I feel it wouldn't be fair, honestly, if I made this about me.
You disappoint me. You've not got the Artosa's quiff today. I mean, Dan was quite happy about your setup of hair. He's not really looking at me.
Maybe this break I will. If they have break, I will do it.
Okay.
It's all up to Zoe as well to do her thing.
So we discovered at this event that actually Jason is secretly Artosa's brother.
Yep.
It's happened. Tasteless has been knocked out the scene, and now Jason Kaplan is in there. It's all about the nose and the hair.
And rumors that it was Jason that punched Nick in the ribs are, of course, just that. Only rumors.
Yes, Tasteless, if you are watching at home, get well soon. He's nursing that injured rib that he's got. I think he picked it up in Shanghai from coughing.
Wow, okay.
Powerful cough.
Wow, that is a manly cough, I have to say.
He's got a big throat, so, he's got a powerful cough.
Yes.
But,
what happens when he sneezes?
God only knows.
Die.
The earth shakes. Things happen in the world. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time we took a break, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Intel Extreme Masters here at Singapore. We just went in for Meet Your Makers versus the Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They are setting up on stage, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.